That's right. Well, the US Special Representative for the DPRK, Song Kim, arrived this morning. We don't have a lot of details for his agenda over the weekend. What we can assume, though, is he will be meeting with US officials here at the embassy, given, as you just mentioned, this is his first trip here after being appointed by US President Joe Biden. So there will be a getting to know each other period over the weekend before he moves on and meets with South Korean and Japanese officials. As again, you mentioned that that's happening on Monday. There will be a bilateral between Song Kim and his South Korean counterpart, followed by a trilateral with Japan. There will also be a bilateral between Japan and South Korea on the same day. And part of this trip is really trying to get this relationship between Japan and South Korea on a more positive footing. Diplomatic relations are at an absolute all-time low since the end of the Second World War at the moment. And after the G7 meeting, a meeting between the foreign ministers of Japan and South Korea was cancelled after Japan walked out. Again, citing some of these legacy issues, a dispute over the island of Dokdo. So the US trying to bring those two countries together to get a DPRK policy back on track, but also just to expand on Joe Biden's new policy for the DPRK and get a lot of input, because really what we have here is a policy to build a policy. There isn't really any detail in the US policy, but apart from avoiding the old strategic patience of the past, that is isolating the DPRK and effectively waiting for it to crumble, all the grand bargains that former President Donald Trump was seeking but failed to secure. So looking at a more practical, pragmatic way forward, talking with partners here. And also, of course, this comes just after Kim Jong-un, the leader of the DPRK, noted that the DPRK is ready for dialogue or confrontation. Now, he's talked a lot about confrontation in the past, but dialogue has been off the table. So this message has been seen as a very positive thing here in South Korea. It's being viewed as Kim Jong-un, the DPRK, wanting to come back to the negotiating table. But so far, very early stage talks on this 5-day visit with Song Kim, and we're not expecting to see a meeting at the demilitarized zone, as we have sometimes seen in the past, between the envoy and officials from Pyongyang. Again, very an exploratory phase of what could be a fresh turn in the diplomacy with Pyongyang.